This is The
Good to have you on the
Backstory
show
with
once again.
Omobola
This is the
Stephen.
Backstory
It's a
with Omobola
balanced,
Stephen.
objective,
Now, the
unbiased and
Backstory with
disruptive
Omobola Stephen
conversation on
focuses
government and
government and
politics.
We like to
We
shine
shine more
light
light on
on
what
what
has
has
not
not worked
worked
and
and
what
what
will
would
make it
make it
work.
work.
This is the
And
mission of
now,
the
to the
Backstory with
finest
Omobola
personable and
Stephen.
engaging
Now,
host
today I
extraordinaire,
have Elona
Omobola
Kearney, who is
Stephen.
an author,
Tune
advocator,
in.
and is US Army Vet. Welcome to the show, Elona Kearney.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me on the show today, Elona. Now we'll be focusing more on politics and government. Well, really, I'd like you to share your personal experience in this regard. Now, I understand that you were once the victim of depression and suicide. So what do you think were the root cause of it?
The cause of it was, when I was growing up, as a child, we have a different perception of what our parents think, that we are receiving a message. So when my parents would get in arguments, as a child, I would think that it was my fault, that there was something wrong with me, that I couldn't keep my parents together. So, when kids go through are products of a divorce, they think that it's their fault and that it's their job to get parents back together. And for me, I was always trying to be a perfectionist. So when I would mess up, if I got a B as a grade instead of an A, I would think I was a bad child. I would write ugly things on my face or scribble on my face, tell myself that I was dumb. And nobody would never know this because I was secretly do these things to myself until when I was around 13 years old. Then my mother ended up finding out from my school that I was trying to be perfect and that I was never, that I was constantly attempting suicide. And then I went into the hospital and I was there for like about 3 months or so. And to get the help that I needed to start retraining and reframing my way of thinking. So for me, it was just my perception, and I didn't have anyone to guide me or mentor me or tell me that I was enough.
Right. Elona, you're running for a very high profile position in the nearest future in the Washington state. So was there an overnight thought, right? Or what was the inspiration? I'd like you to take us through your journey.
My inspiration was, well, I started out with my kids in politics. When I was, when they were, I want to say in elementary, I started homeschooling them. And during my homeschool journey, I wanted to do something as far as the community of, like, we could always sit around here and complain about problems or complain about their social injustice, but complaining will never get us anywhere. It'll just keep us in the same state and just being frustrated and mad and arguing with each other. So I created a program when I was living in Florida called Citrus County Community Alliance. And what this program was to take impossible and say I'm possible. And I would bring in a state representative, and he would come in and teach everyone how to write legislative bills, how to create proposals of changes that they would like to make, and also even debate us on, if we make this change, then this group is going to say this is unfair to them. And how do we make it where it's not infringing on someone else's right, but everyone is able to get their equal rights. And so we would have that type of thing going on in our program. It was originally for the youth, but parents ended up joining in and wanting to be part of it. And then he would also challenge our kids to go to city council meetings and different things to present an idea of something that they felt needed to be changed, whether it was a stop sign needed to be somewhere, just to give them that experience of getting in front of people. And from there, when I moved here to Washington State, I also brought that here with my kids, of getting them before, bringing them to city council, different things. And when I moved here, I moved to settle down in SeaTac area. I continued to be more involved. When my kids graduated from homeschool, I decided I'm going back to school with them. And while I was in school, I took up doing student government and going to Olympia to represent my college to help lobby for funding. I even won an internship to write a proposal for a bill and present it before Congress. And I have 2 Congress people who are working to turn that bill into that proposal into a bill. And that one is for student veterans to help them with child care vouchers. And so from there, I was, I started asking around, like, how do I run for governor? Because our governor is just not being considerate of, like, he's not looking at everyone. It is like he just has this, a lot of our politicians tend to become career politicians. And I'm not a career politician, but we have career politicians that they're there, and they tend to forget that you're not there to be like a god over someone. You're there to serve the people. When we vote for you, we hire you. And they're not acting as though we, the people, have hired them. They're acting as though they're creating laws and they're demanding stuff from the people that we can't even afford to give. So I decided, well, then I might as well run. Like, I see people with all of these degrees, but they're still messing up. And I actually am graduating this summer with my bachelor's in business. So, I feel as though they don't never get out here to ask the people in the community what it is the community needs, because the community best knows what they need in each community. I can't take a suburban community solution and solve it in another community that does not have anything or those same issues or struggling with those same things.
Oh, right. That's a huge one from you, Elona. Wish you the best of luck in your aspiration. Now, take a look at this scenario, right? And because you talked about having a degree, so I'd like us to take a look at this scenario now, though it's a daunting one. So what about a person who has a degree but not a political science degree? Can such a person forge ahead with a dream of being a politician? Now, especially for women who have seen new light and want to change their career as a politician, just like you.
At first, I was intimidated to apply because that's the way I thought. I thought maybe I needed a degree, and I wasn't going to get a degree to run. I was actually getting a degree for myself because in my family, we don't have, everybody just graduate with high school diplomas and nobody goes on to continue. So for me, it was a thing of completing the cycle for my family generation of saying we can go on and get degrees. But when I looked up for running for governor or any political position, there are only 3 basic things you need. Is you only need to be 18 or older, have be registered to vote, and also reside where it is that you want to run. There's nothing else saying that you have to have a degree to run as a politician. In fact, it's even in our Constitution that those are the only 3 basic things that you need.
Oh, right. So we can see an impressive record of women attaining high-profile positions, especially in the political sector, right? Do you think women are still misrepresented, right, in the polity and governance of the state? So what are the issues that can we confront them?
Yes, I think that women are still misrepresented because, like, for this position of running for, especially a top position of governor, I'm not running for lieutenant governor or senator or anything. So I'm going for the top. And when it comes to the top, you have a lot of, I call it male chauvinistic thinking, which is a woman can't handle this. But what they don't consider is that women handle a lot on a daily basis. I see women that they are nurses and they are doctors and they are single moms taking care of their kids, going to work for like 3 or 4 days out of the week and having 2 or maybe 3 days off, and then taking care of their family, taking care of other things in their life. And women are proving more and more each day that they are capable, that we are capable of handling top positions. And even like with our presidency, we may have breaking a barrier of having a Black man, the first Black president and whatnot, but what about a woman? Why does she have to be vice president,
Right. Elona, don't you think that we need bold policies and structural changes, right, to reach gender parity in the US politics?
Yes, yes. And you said to reach which US politics, and what was the other one?
Yes, I'm asking these questions. Don't you think that we need bold policies and structural changes, right, to reach gender parity in the US politics?
Yes, I was just trying to figure out the other word, the gender, you said gender politics?
Parity.
Yes, 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 we do. And, you know, it takes women actually stepping up. We can't be afraid to step up and step into positions. And I know a lot of our thinking is we have an imposter syndrome. That's where we feel like we don't belong somewhere, or maybe we're not enough or not qualified enough. And we have to start getting out of that thinking, because that's the thinking that, you know, society has placed on us. And that's not who we are. We're more than enough. We're more than qualified for positions, but we'll never know until we step out of our comfort zone and just go for it. And I know we'll think of like, what if I fail? Failure is only when you give up and just like, I'm done with it. But what I call it small wins, meaning you're taking steps to breaking barriers and opening doors, not just for yourself, because it's not at this point about ourselves. Like me taking this position is not about me. Whether I win or lose, it's about opening a door for the next woman to walk through. And yes, I think it takes bold moves, and those bold moves starts with us stepping up to the plate.
Right. So how about the situation where we have women who are breaking the glass ceiling, but yet their voices still go ahead and their contributions often sidelined? How can we change the narratives?
You know, I think we could change the narrative by, you know, constantly celebrating each other and pushing each other up to the front. And like I said before, me doing this is not just about me. It's about opening the door for the next woman to come through. And as long as we're doing things, you know, not thinking about ourselves, our goal might be to win something, but we also think beyond that goal of being the winner at it, but think about that goal being making waves for another woman to walk through. And that's how we can help continue to break that glass ceiling.
Right. Thank you once again, Elona Kearney, for your submission on today's show, especially talking about the polity and governance. Now, so how do you motivate complainants, right, to be the change that you really want? Is it that automatic?
Yes. Yes, you know, one of my models is to be a promotion and not the emotion. So I feel like a lot of time politics will play on the hurt of our past and the wounds that we may have. And even like with running, I know to expect that someone's going to try to dig up something to try to hurt me or to try to slander me. And that's you know, that's their job. That's what they want to do, is try to make you look ugly. But don't come from a place of emotion, because what you're trying to do and what I'm trying to do is promote, you know, our progress, showing that we are progressing to a new era, and we're not asking to have a seat at the table. We are at the table. You can come join us. You know? So yes.
Elona, interesting to know, in this regard, what have you done? What are your sources? What are your sources? What's the success rate of? Because I know that you have a political ambition, right? What have you done so far going forward?
So far going for it, and because all the other politicians have lots of money in their, you know, in their coffers to run, and I'm just the regular average person in my community. I have to go and knock on people's door. I have to get out and get to know people personally, which they're not going to see that from my opponents, because They have money to pay other people to, you know, send out mailers or be on commercials. But I want people to know that I'm not being bought by a party. I'm not being bought by big business. I'm another citizen like you who wants the best for our community, because guess what? I have to live here too. I have to go through the same things that you go through, so I understand and I feel you. So far I've been getting to know people, talk to people, ask them what solutions do they feel are best solutions, or what things do they see are issues in their community, because each community is different from the next. And of course I made business cards and created a website so that way I could start being able to post some of those things on there, of, you know, letting people chime in on how can we make Washington State better. And so far for me, this whole year is about getting my face and my name out there and getting to know the people and understand the people before everyone starts campaigning next year of, you know, setting their platforms. I'm already ahead of knowing what to talk about.
Awesome. Wish you best of luck in that project of yours, Elona.
Thank you.
All right. Elona, do you have any parting words you'd like to share with my audience?
Yeah, I would just want to tell everyone, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Go for whatever it is that you want to do. In fact, don't even dream small, dream big. Shoot for the stars. My kids always say, I shoot for the stars and I might land on the moon, but that's okay. I got off the earth. I got somewhere and I'm getting closer to where it is that I want to be. And you'll never get anywhere you want to be if you don't take that first leap of faith.
Awesome. Beautifully covered. Thank you for the motivation and the inspiration, Elona. So we'd like to have your social media contacts and your website to get in touch.
Yes. My website is my name, ElonaKearney.com, ElonaKearney.com. And my email is the same, ElonaKearney@yahoo.com.
All right. It's a pleasure having you on the show once again, Elona Kearney. Wish you best of luck once again in all your future endeavors.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining me on the Backstory with Omobola Stephen, right? I need you to stay safe with all my love. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Okay.